It's all about you. It's all about you, baby. Hi, Deborah Fielding here with It's All About You, the podcast. And I am sat here today with my lovely friend Debbie Burroughs round her kitchen table with a lovely piece of banana loaf and a cup of mint tea for me. So just a little intro to Debbie, who we met when I went through cancer last year, and Debbie was just fantastic and kindly knocked on my door every single day without me ever having to ask her to say, can my dog go out for a walk? And I was super grateful for that because basically I couldn't walk him, but I never asked her to do it, and that meant the world to me, and it's a fantastic thing. So there are lots of people around you that are wanting to help if you allow them and let them in. So over to you, Debbie Burroughs. Great to see you again, as always. I've got to just say, Debbie and I spend most of our time laughing, and so this could be a really disastrous podcast. But Debbie, you know I'm super grateful for you walking Rufus. Now, what's been beautiful out of that is this friendship we've created. Well, at least I think it is.
The feeling's mutual.
Oh, thank you. Where we walk down the towpath predominantly and have a good laugh and put the world to rights.
So we do put the world to rights.
We do. But I want to know, why did you see that gap in my cancer market that you knew to knock on my door and just take the dog? Because I never asked you to do it. It was amazing.
No, you didn't ask me. I didn't. I mean, to be fair, we didn't know each other that well, did
no,
we?
We'd
only ever met dog walking.
I think having had cancer has given me you as one of the things. It's been a lovely friendship, which I'm thrilled with.
It has. It's really blossomed. I think I didn't know what to do to help you. I didn't know you particularly well, but so dog walking was just something that I felt that I could do.
Yeah,
a practical thing.
And you jumped straight in there.
I could have offered to clean your house, but cleaning's not my thing.
No.
I could have offered to take you for appointments, but I work. Yeah. Didn't know you that well. I would probably have sat in a waiting room with you for a while and we'd have got on okay.
Yeah, I think we would.
But dog walking, yeah, it was just something practical. I just thought it was something I could do to help.
I can't even tell you how grateful I was because, I couldn't walk him.
No, you couldn't. And also having my own dog, I know what it's like. Sometimes I'm fitting well. Sometimes I just can't be bothered. Sometimes you just don't feel like walking, do you? So to have somebody take that off you, that was what I could offer for you.
Yeah, I love it.
And I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, I'm really glad you did too. I've stuffed a big piece of banana cake in my mouth. So just a little bit of background with you. You've got a great understanding of what it's like to be in a traumatic situation, having gone through something quite horrendous with your son. Who's Danny, who's my son Oscar's friend, and actually Danny's been away with us for a week, and he's a gorgeous, gorgeous boy. But you went through some trauma with that. Do you think that gave you a greater understanding as to what people need once you'd come through and out the other side? Did you have that support yourself?
I've got a very large family, big close-knit family, so I did have. Yes, I had support from within my family. So Danny, he was ill for a while. We had to go and live in the States for 9 weeks. And so it was just me and Danny. But back home, I had 2 other children, a husband, a dog. See, my sister took my dog in for that time.
Right, okay.
She did that for me. And then I had my family were going around to help cook meals. I had people doing my washing, ironing, that to look after the family in my absence. I didn't have anybody with me in the States, but that... You know, I had them at the end of a phone, on FaceTime, writing letters, cards, loads of support.
Yeah.
And which was just lovely.
It is lovely.
Really
I think
lovely.
the beautiful thing of going through a traumatic time is how the community. I mean, for me, I don't have a massive family, and I live in Marlow, and it is me and my two children. So I'm grateful beyond measure that I'd built these friendships up with people that really did underpin me. Otherwise, I'd have no idea what would have happened to me. No. But to have that support around you,
it is huge, isn't it?
It's huge. Yeah. It is. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
And not to be taken lightly either. No. So I think out of something quite ghastly, you learn the beautiful side of people. And
They
actually, people really do want to help.
They do, and yes, they do. But sometimes it's difficult for people to know what they can do to help.
I agree.
Practically.
Yeah.
I think a lovely thing is cooking a meal for somebody and taking that over. It's just a little thing, but you know.
Yeah.
Did you have people do that for you?
I did.
Oh, good.
Actually.
I never offered to do
I
that.
went
Cooking's
out
not
for
my
coffee
thing.
with the lovely Sue Ambrose just today.
Okay.
Who just rocked up every other week with a big bag of cooked food for me.
Fantastic.
Which I'd shove in my freezer and almost forget about until the day I came home having chemo and just had enough. And maybe I hadn't planned what we were having for supper, which most of the time I would do, but I could just pull out something that Sue had cooked.
Yeah.
And that was a lifesaver, because you've nothing in the tank at that stage.
No.
So I think it's very difficult for people to know, one, to inconvenience you in their eyes, knocking on your door, because you are disturbing somebody who's trying to recover or be well.
Yeah.
And two, what to say.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. When I was away, I set up a big, it wasn't WhatsApp then, it was texts, wasn't it? But I would text a message to a whole load of people.
To keep them in the loop.
To get them in the loop. But what you don't want to do is then have to reply to all their individual texts.
Right, yeah.
And it's really great when people understand they're not getting any response. It's not because you don't appreciate their text, but you can't sit in a hospital waiting room, texting people, being on your phone that time. You need to be with your child. You need to be, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. I had a blog as well when we were away, so that was quite nice for people to then see what we were getting up to. So
Debbie blogging, who
I
knew?
I never even knew what a blog was before I went.
My
Somebody
goodness.
showed me what to do, did it, and it was great. It's like keeping a diary. It's just like
It is.
a diary that other people can read, and you can put photos on there.
And actually, don't you think, it's like doing this, for example. I just thought it had to be something or singing or dancing, but actually the beauty in doing this and the people that it reaches are all just like you and I. We're normal people getting about our day-to-day lives.
Absolutely.
And it's great to kind of look in on somebody else's life and reassure yourself that actually we are all the same. We've got, what's the saying? We've got more in common than we have. And so that's the situation. So I think, just listening to other people's tales and stories and their lives and how everybody comes together is quite reassuring when you're going through a really rough patch.
Yeah, and there's an awful lot of people out there going through these rough patches, aren't there?
There is.
So many.
So I often say, I walk around with a headscarf on when my hair came out and everything, and oh my gosh, people were so lovely.
Yeah.
But the minute the headscarf goes, you're back to normal.
Yes, that's true.
And you feel a bit vulnerable because you're still not well. But there are people, lots of people, a massive clump of people out there that are walking around needing consideration and care that you would never know.
No.
And I think that's taught me quite a lot, actually.
Yeah. Be a lot more sympathetic towards people. And if you see somebody something like road rage or somebody having a moment in the supermarket,
all of that,
you just think, oh, well, actually, I don't know what's going on in their life.
No.
And you don't have a moan at them.
No, I agree. Or you're just a bit more understanding. Or I'll look to go and help. I actually look to go and help people. I love doing that. I got stranded at Marylebone once, and if it wasn't for one of the guards getting me on the train on, beep, 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 going down the platform on the disabled carriage because I couldn't work out how to get home. And then he offered to take me, did you want me to come to High Wycombe with you? That was
that's going beyond, isn't it?
Isn't it? So
is that when you had a headscarf on?
Yes, that's my point. You could see I was. He said, if you run down the platform, there's a train leaving in 4 minutes. And
I'm not running anywhere.
No, and I'd spent half an hour on the bathroom floor in the Landmark Hotel, really poorly, which he didn't know. I'd had nothing left in me, but he offered to take me back on the train, which was incredible. So it's things like that, really.
Yeah.
So I just think the message for me is to not be scared to reach out to people if you need to, because people generally do want to help.
They do, yes.
I think you have to just make yourself a little bit more vulnerable than you would like to be seen or perceived, I don't know, and just step out. But all in all, I am beyond delighted that we've made our friendship. And
me too.
And long may it continue.
Long may it continue.
Trick trotting down the towpath, and I hope the dogs enjoy it as well. Well, we can go without them or with them. We're not really that bothered, are we? But so all in all, there's a lot of good can come out of something bad, and for that I'm very grateful. And super brilliant that Danny's in a good space.
It is, yes.
Because he is a gorgeous thing.
Thank you.
And super grateful that I'm in a reasonably good space at the moment.
You are.
And I don't think I could have got there without the support of people around. So whilst this podcast isn't about me and my, or cancer, in fact, just building around that, the support network, I think it's great for people to understand what they can put in place. And
even if somebody hasn't got close family, close friends, there's nothing stopping. So if they are ill and they do need that help, there's help out there.
There is.
They don't necessarily know where to find it, but it will find them.
I agree. I think
in strange places like guards at the station,
I
like
think,
random strangers
did you
on the
find
towpath.
You kind of have to just let people in. It's down to you really, because you can put a wall up.
Yes, you can, definitely.
And that's out of fear. And you're so vulnerable, you just want to close everything off. But actually,
I mean, some people are happy on their own. Not everybody wants a massive network of people around them, but it does suit some people.
I think it helps it helps the journey, for want of better words. And when you're feeling at a low ebb, it's great to have that support.
Yeah.
I certainly couldn't have got through without it, is all I know. Little Bella having a drink there in the corner. Good job I didn't bring Rufus, he'd have been barking his head off, no doubt. But anyway, Debbie, thank you very much for chatting to us today.
Very welcome.
And onwards and upwards without walking in exploits. Now I know you're blogging, we can do the Debbie and Deborah blog.
Well, I did blog, it's not an ongoing thing.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we could start
Definitely
again, who
not.
knows? We might get you doing something for my little It's All About You blog, who knows? Yeah, it's all about you. She's desperate to sing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to pick up on some of the points that we were discussing, Debbie and I. And the first one's being, if you look at your own challenging experiences and look around you to see if anybody else is going through a similar situation as you, is there a gap that you can plug? And as we've discussed, Debbie just turned up and walked my dog. She hadn't have done. I've had a big fat dog by now, but she saw that because she'd had her own experience with her son and knew what kind of help she needed. And so don't be frightened to knock on somebody's door or call them and say, can I do this for you? And be specific. Asking somebody, can you help? Just blows your brains. So many people have messaged me to say, can I help? How can I help? The truth is, you don't really know, because it's difficult to start dishing out the roles when you're feeling less than. But if you can find a gap and plug it yourself, boy oh boy, I was so grateful to Debbie and several other people that have done things. So don't be afraid to just offer what your strengths are. Secondly, there's lots of kindness we can do for people, our family, our friends and our wider community. One of my favourite things to do is, if you're walking on a familiar route, is to smile at somebody that you pass frequently that you've never connected with before. And that's a lovely thing. I've struck up some really nice conversations with people doing just that small thing. You'd never know really how you're affecting somebody. I was on an event a few weeks ago and I stood up and said a few words. And that opened the floodgates for a young lad to start talking the day after. And it turned out that he would never have done that if I hadn't have shared what I did and stood up and spoken first. And I found that really touching. So don't be afraid to step into a space and engage with people. And boy, as a world, we need that, certainly at the moment. And don't be afraid to reach out for support yourself is point number 3. We're not very good at asking for help sometimes, but when you're down in the dumps and you've got a real life-threatening situation coming at you, just don't be frightened to ask for support. It's all there. People were just desperate to come in the minute that I opened the floodgates or mentioned that I needed some help. I never had anybody turn me away. There were so many things people wanted to do, and that's all there for you too. And finally, I couldn't let the saying go that I spluttered my way through while Debbie and I were chatting. It was a saying from the amazing Jo Cox, and it goes like this: we are far more united and have far more in common than that which divides us. And that's a fitting end to this podcast with the lovely Debbie Burroughs. If you like this podcast, like it, comment on it, or share it. Thank you.